right, H. Kick us off. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
sure?
yes. Welcome.
Positive.
Yes. Welcome.
Yep.
Stop. Welcome back to Haley.
Yep.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back.
Yep.
Stop it. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Haley's Weekly News.
I'm not ready.
Are you serious?
Okay, go.
Welcome back to Haley's Weekly News. Please love, like, and subscribe. And comment.
About time you get through that, Haley.
You're the one that keep messing
No. Nope.
You're the one that keeps saying, whoop.
Is your week going good?
Yes, it's gone pretty good.
Back in work, both of them?
Yes. Monday, it was a little more hard getting to routine since I was off for 3 weeks, maybe a little more.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, on Tuesday and Thursday, Tuesday was a little harder getting back in my routine, but not as hard as it was Monday.
Yeah, I can see that. Because you got an extra week off from the school.
Yeah, because of the flood. Yeah.
Not that we got rain.
No. And they told me that the flood was bad.
Was it?
Yeah, like they had like those those machines that make sure that there's no water down it was just a mess. Like one of the rooms was flooded so bad. One of the workers lost some of their paperwork, and some of the kids lost some books. Some kids lost their work that they've been working so hard on.
That's a bummer.
Mm-hmm. But the most important thing is nobody was hurt.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
Because they told me that like ceilings were falling and all that stuff.
I wonder if the wind hitting up against the garage is gonna pick up
I don't know.
on the mic today.
I have no idea.
I doubt it does.
I don't think it will either.
It's part of life here in the Texas Panhandle. And we've had unseasonably warm couple of weeks. Really after New Year. Well, since New Year's.
Yeah, since
Yeah.
New Year's.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm. So, of course, our spring winds are already blowing in, which is not good because we've also had no rain
No.
or snow or anything. So it's really dry. We're just a giant matchbox
Yes.
waiting to go up.
Yeah. And somebody read to me, or I heard that there was one little fire, but it was a grass fire.
Yeah.
And we weren't for sure where it was exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have an awesome show lined up. We have some really, well, I think they're relevant topics to talk about. Also, Haley's tip of the week, making her debut, and then story time, which is the original Haley story. So before all that, just want to take a quick moment to make an announcement again, just to remind everyone to put it on your calendar. Tuesday, March 7th, we're launching Haley's Weekly News. So every day we get closer, I get a little bit more nervous. But I'm also one more day into getting everything up into the site and ready to go. So we're excited for what that's going to bring us, what it's going to allow us to do. We want to be your one-stop shop for hope. And we want to do that by providing you entertainment and information, but mostly entertainment. And so this website, Haley'sWeeklyNews.com, is going to allow us to do that in a more effective manner. So we're excited.
I'm really excited.
Yep. So don't worry if you forget. We'll remind you again next Wednesday. We will not give you any opportunity to forget about Tuesday, March 7th. All right. So, Haley.
Yes.
I was thinking You know, we are kind of average when it comes to uh athleticism. We're not the most athletic person
No.
in the room, but we're probably not the least athletic person in the room either. I mean, we could do things, right?
Right.
However, there is one thing that neither of us are good at. Do you know what that one thing is?
Driving in a wheel driving in a wheelchair.
Close. It is walking a straight line.
Ew.
You weave back and forth. You cannot walk a straight line.
No.
I have been accused of not being able to walk a straight line. I just think it's because I'm wider than most. And so people think I'm not walking straight, but really it's them and they're just running into me because of my width.
Uh,
So turns out there might be something out there that could help with that, but I don't think it would because it's all up in our head, right?
right.
Yeah. So there's a new mind controlled wheelchair for people with with paralysis. And it uses 100% brain signals to move. Um, which is really cool because if you think about the technology that it requires for you to just be able to use to think that you want to go straight or make a left turn or a right turn, that's pretty cool that a chair is now able to do that for you, especially for people who don't have any control over their hands, right? Because a motorized wheelchair, you still have to use your hands um, with the joystick. And then if you can't use your arms to wheel yourself forward, that's pretty difficult,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So the brain thing will be perfect. The brain wheelchair, just in case, like if somebody can't move it really well with their hands.
Yep. Yep.
Like if they accidentally hurt their hand doing something,
I agree.
that'll be perfect.
I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. Now, my question to you, do you think that in a brain signal motorized wheelchair that you could roll in a straight line?
No, I probably won't be able to roll in a straight line.
Why?
I ran over people like you.
Uh, Even if it's your brain controlling it and not your muscles.
Yeah, probably have not like a good chance, but a medium chance I might run over somebody.
So not a great chance, but
No,
medium.
yeah.
A medium chance that.
Until I get used to it.
Do you get used to it though? Do you think this is something you get used to?
No.
I don't know. Huh.
Luckily, I don't have to deal with that problem.
Yeah, not at the moment, you
No.
know.
No.
In your 33 years, you've spent very little time in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So we're very fortunate there.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Is it something you can practice? I think you have to. I think you'd have to be able to practice it, right, to get better at it.
Right. This takes a lot of practice.
Maybe we can find some videos on it.
Maybe that'll be cool, and maybe we could show them next week.
Are you worried about what your brain would have the wheelchair do?
I don't think so. I'll just have to get used to using my brain. Will just have to get used to using it. If I have it, it'll just take me a little bit for my brain to get used to the wheelchair, the brain wheelchair working.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be a fun project.
It really will be.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I was excited when I came across that because I think it just expands movement for more people, right?
Right.
And anytime you can add something to your life that's going to increase your independence,
I know the good person will probably be good with that rolling wheelchair, the brain. Johnny from Johnny and Friends
Oh yeah,
because she's paralyzed from the wrist or from the neck
from the
down.
neck down. Yeah,
And I'm not for sure if she uses her hands.
yeah. You're the only one that's met her.
Well,
I
I'm
have
not for
not.
sure. I'm not for sure. I think she can use her hands, but I'm not 100% positive because I only met her once.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Excuse me. A lot of people that could benefit from that. It's just really cool because it's something that you've seen in movies or in TV shows,
Yeah,
and now we're making it a reality. It's pretty impressive.
very impressive.
Yeah. Haley, remind people where you live, who you live with.
I live with my mom and dad in Canyon, Texas.
Yeah. Now, would you ever live anywhere else?
Maybe with you and Monica if anything happens to mom and dad.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes.
You have once told us that you would not leave mom and dad's house and
I,
that we would have to move in to mom and dad's house
yeah. Well,
because you're not moving.
well, I prefer not to move, but if I have to, I will.
So you're saying if you had the choice, you would choose to make everyone else move to you and you not move to them.
I guess so. But if I have a choice, I don't mind moving if we needed to.
Okay. Do you know what the plan is for you if something happens to mom and dad?
Yes. If anything happens to mom and dad, I'll be living with you and Monica and the kiddos.
Okay. Now that's what you think. If anything happens to mom and dad,
That's what mom and dad told me.
yep, when I turned 25, yeah, bud, I became your boss.
Yeah. Yeah, but you might be my boss, but you have to drive me everywhere that I need to be.
Yes. And we'll cover that in a story time later on. But yes, you're right. You come with strings attached
Yes.
and a very rigorous, structured schedule.
Well, maybe not too much struggler, because there's some people that have um a schedule that's more busier than I am.
Sure. So, mom and dad and I and Monica were talking one night,
Oh, brother.
and we've updated the plan. So, if something happens to mom and dad, which we are both in agreement, we hope that doesn't happen anytime soon,
No.
right?
Right.
Okay. We become your guardian,
Yes.
and we, because of our close relationship with Joe Walter,
Oh,
we are we have a room for you at the Legacy at Town Square.
okay.
It's a closet.
Not cool. Not not cool at all.
I mean, mom and dad said it was okay.
I'll have to talk to them about it.
They trust Joe ish. They trust Sarah.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to them about that.
No, I mean you don't have to. You can't. I mean you can, but it's our decision.
Yeah, but I'm still not gonna live in a closet.
Let's hope not. Okay, so we bring that up. We have that conversation because currently, and I don't know how old this data was or is, but 75% of Americans living with a disability live with a family caregiver. Okay,
Yes.
so a parent, grandparent, brother, sister, aunt, uncle. Okay,
Okay.
25% of that 75% live with a caregiver 60 years old or older. Okay.
Okay.
And this hit home because mom and dad are both getting close to 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mom's getting
Yeah, mom's this year and dad's next year. Okay. So my question is, we talked about your long-term care plan. Okay. What do you have to say about that? What are your thoughts on this big number?
I think that's a pretty big number, but I prefer to live with one of you guys than in a closet.
Yeah, the closet was just a joke.
I know. I know. It's just a
It,
joke.
it it's just it's such a big number. And we work really close with advo companies.
Yes.
And that is a collection of group homes, right?
Right.
And so I think like it feels like that's not as much the case now, or at least in this area. Um, but 75% of people living with a disability live with a family caregiver.
Yes.
That's a big number.
Yes. Unless they're taken care of. Like they're getting like places they need to be and doctor's appointments, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's great until something happens to the caregiver and there's not a plan.
Yeah.
Because we've had a plan for 10 years now. Because I
Yes.
turned 35 in March.
Yes.
So for 10 years we've had a long-term care plan for you.
Yes.
It's well, even longer. It just kicked in when I turned 25, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they've had the plan. It just yeah, it became official. Became official. Okay. So it's really important to always have a backup plan. And we've had people talk to us from time to time about uh they've asked us our plan because they don't necessarily have one. And we're living at a time in a time where you're living longer than you would have 20, 30 years ago.
Sorry, phone turned black again. I had to fix that.
We're all just waiting on you. It's fine. Right? So 20, 30 years ago, you're not living as long as you do now. So it's becoming a bigger story
Hmm.
and not necessarily an issue, but something to address because um, people are living longer. They're outliving their caregivers,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Whereas a few generations before us, that wasn't the case
No.
because of health problems and things like
Hmm.
that, right? So, um, yeah, it's better to find it like just find a plan, figure out a plan. The earlier the better, right?
Yeah.
Um, today is the best day to start that and get going,
Yeah.
right?
Well, earlier the better, but you don't want to be too young that you don't understand what's going on.
Well, no, but the parents aren't too young.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really big deal, really big deal. And nobody, I mean, the plans aren't perfect. They change, right?
Right.
Um, who knows? You may live long enough where you're living with Ella or Weston. Who knows? Uh, but we do have a plan in place. Okay.
That's not in a closet.
It's not in the closet, but it will take a bunch of transition, right? Like it'll take time to fully get used to it. Even though you've stayed here and you've stayed here for a week at a time,
Yeah.
um, the thought of it being every day would be a big deal.
Yeah. We'll just have to get used to it.
Yeah, like you're never going back home,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That would be tough. So there'd be a lot of things to adjust to.
Hmm.
Like you having to adjust to our schedule.
Yeah.
You seem pumped about that.
I kind of used to both our schedules. Kind of.
All right. So make a plan. Let people know that you've made a plan, especially if it includes them.
Yes.
That'd be good. Yeah.
That'd be really good.
Yeah. And they'd be good. Okay. Hey, how many jobs do you have?
Two.
Two.
Our
Touch
guy.
your hey, touch your phone real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
I work at preschool a day and a half a week, and the turns are 2 full days.
Okay. And you've been working there. You've been working at the daycare.
For about 15 to 16
You
years.
started there when you were 16?
15 or 16, I don't remember.
Because it was part of your high school graduation, right?
I think so.
You had to prove that you were employable.
I'm at the turn center. Maybe 3 to 4 years. I'm not for sure on that one.
Okay.
I'll have to ask my boss, Reagan.
She won't know.
Yeah, she will. She's the one that hired me.
So you think she keeps up with your hire date just off the top of her head?
I don't know.
You're that special.
I don't know anybody else that would know, except for Dad.
He wouldn't know.
Exactly. But Reagan might know.
So you've been at Turn Center 3 years.
3 or 4.
Yeah. Well, four. Because you were there before COVID.
Yeah.
We're approaching 4 years or 3 years from COVID. So at least four.
Yeah.
All right. So you've worked for a long time.
Yes.
You have skills and gifts that make you really good at both of your jobs, right? And we've
Right.
we've talked about those things on the show. Um, so I was looking at just different employment data because I think having a job
Hmm.
is a really big deal,
Yes, it's a
right?
very big deal.
And not just for the money.
No,
It
not.
just it's really helpful for a lot of things,
Yes.
right? So one of the ways that excuse me, should not have had that orange soda. It's making me burp just like the whole time. It's terrible.
Oh.
I don't drink soda that often.
Mm.
Miserable. Okay. So every year around the holiday season, big companies hire seasonal workers to help with the extra loads,
Yes.
right? Um, these are places like Amazon, UPS, FedEx,
Yeah.
Post Office, but then a bunch of others too, like Walmart,
Or the
Lowe's.
mall.
Yeah, yeah. So to help with the extra shopping and purchasing and all of that, they hire seasonal workers.
Yes.
Now, I think this would be, in the article I read, thought this would be a great opportunity for as to hire people with disabilities during these seasonal times.
Yes, that's a very good question. And like they need to get a job. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a United or Walmart or something like that. Just like just to get them out of the house, like just try their best and do what they need to be done, like what you need to be told, but try not to make it perfect and just try your best. Doesn't have to
Okay.
be perfect at all.
What advice would you give to a company who wanted to hire a person with a disability?
Just try and get them an easy job. Like like wrapping gifts. Like it doesn't have to be.
Wrapping gifts is not easy.
I'm
Have
just
you wrapped a gift? Have you ever wrapped a gift?
sometimes.
Is it easy?
No,
No,
But
but I get what you're saying. Wrapping gifts would be good.
wrapping gifts would be
Neither
good.
of us are good at it, but somebody
No.
else could be.
Yeah. Like wrapping gifts might be good, or if they need like wrapping paper,
Yeah.
like in a I mean, not in a pantry, but like in a storage, they can go get it,
Yep.
or stuff that they need to go get.
Keeping things
Yeah.
organized. Um, Loading, unloading.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the best quality? What do you think is the best quality that your community shares? Because I have one, but I'm curious what yours might be.
Like,
That would make them very good at a job.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. That's what I've been trying to think. Like being like a very good like employee, like getting there on time and or try to get there on time. And if you're like running a little late, call to tell them that you're going to be a little bit late and don't ever show up unless you're like sick or something.
Yeah, that was mine. Um, you never miss a day
No,
unless you're sick.
yeah. I
You're
mean, I miss
never
a few.
late. You're never late, mainly because you don't drive.
Yeah,
But other people aren't late either.
no. Like once in a while, I'm late. It kind of just depends if Dad has a doctor's appointment and if I have to go with him.
Yeah. But if it were up to you, you wouldn't be late.
No,
Um,
I will call the school or the
yeah.
turn.
Yeah, you don't call in to miss
No,
just randomly. Yeah. No, I think that's the greatest quality. Like you are very loyal to who you're working for.
yes,
You show up, you do your job,
yes. It,
and you come back and do it again the next day.
yeah, and it doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just try to make it perfect, but it really doesn't have to be.
No, it needs to be perfect.
No, it really doesn't.
Life needs to be perfect. Get it right the first time. No practice, nothing.
You need to practice.
It's not what Allen Iverson said.
Mm, okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect the first time.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know.
I think that's great advice, H.E. So that was your tip of the week.
Hmm. Yeah. I was just thirsty. That's why I took a drink. I think that's
Anything
right.
else you want to add?
I think we credit. I think we said it.
Okay. Yeah, so just to recap, there's a new mind controlled wheelchair
Yes.
using brain signals to move. 75% of Americans living with a disability live with a family caregiver, 25% of which are 60 years old or older. And then there is a great hiring opportunity for people um, with disabilities with big companies during their seasonal hiring. What do you say we move into story time, H.E.?
That's cool.
Okay. Now this is I mentioned this earlier. This is the original Haley story. Like when we say Haley's story, this is the one that started it off, right? And so it's chapter 2. I called Shotgun. And it's the chapter title is strategic planning. Um, Now I don't know. Every story is one of those things that is a reminder that our life looks a little different. Okay. Um, this is an epic example of that.
Is this Grandma Day or Grandpa Browning's?
Grandpa days.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
One of the first funerals we ever attended. Well, So here's the other thing that I was thinking about this when I was rereading the chapter. Like we've had to experience a lot of death. Like our first, it was even before this. When we were at Gene Howe,
Oh, Eric?
Eric passed away. Yeah, Eric Rose. He was in my class, but then he was also in Miss Mac's class with you.
Yeah.
He was my age.
Yeah, he was just a little
And
bit
we
older
got
than
yeah,
me.
and we got out of school, and so this would have been first grade, second grade.
Yeah, because his sister's a year younger than me.
Yeah, yeah. So we've had to do this way too many times, way too many.
Yeah, yes,
It-
way too many.
It's not fun, but they did let us out of school to go to the service, so that was good.
Yeah.
Bunch of people there. Wow, that was a long time ago. Okay,
Cannot believe it's already been how many years?
almost 30, 25. I don't know. I'm not great at math.
We're not either.
Okay, so we've been to a lot of funerals and we've learned our lesson from this experience. So Grandpa Day is kind of the first family member, uh, close family member that passes away with um Haley and I being old enough to sit with the family. So the entire week, right, leading up to the service, people have been saying, "Yeah, we lost Grandpa. Um, it's just so sad we lost Grandpa." And in Haley's mind, Grandpa Day is just playing a game of hide and seek. He's lost and nobody's found it, right?
Right.
So we get to service day, and somehow you get seated right behind Grandma Day.
Okay.
And we don't know how that happened. We were not paying attention. And it's really because of the order of the family, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you get seated right behind Grandma Day. During the middle of the service, they flip open the casket. Who do you see?
Grandpa Day.
What do you tell Grandma Day? Right in the middle of the service.
There,
Everybody else is quiet.
there's your husband.
Hey, Grandma,
Hey, Grandma.
found your
I
husband.
found your husband.
He's in there.
He's in there.
I mean, you found him. You won. You won the game. He's no longer lost, right?
Right. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the camera when I said that.
Oh, I was pretending to tap the
Oh,
grandma.
okay.
I don't know that I've done great looking at that camera because my computer screen's over here and I look at my computer screen. So we're we're learning.
Yes, we're learning.
Okay. Um so things we don't think about happening at a funeral, like who else would say that? Nobody else. Only Haley. And that's okay because it was hilarious. We were all mortified in the moment. Um and then we all had a great laugh about it afterwards. And we've had a laugh for the 20 years since. Um, but you learn something every day when you have a Haley, because she just perceives the world in a different way. So when you've been telling her all week that we've lost Grandpa, and then she sees him and finds him, she's gonna let people know. That's just the way it goes, right?
Right.
I mean, you did your job. You found him.
And we were, I'm not sure how old we were, and I thought we were just playing a little game.
Yeah, sure. Uh, and it goes like in the book, I think I even mentioned, you have a Haley when you have to be very strategic about where Haley sits at a funeral service because you never know what she's going to say. And that's totally true. Now, the flip side of that is, we can't allow those things to keep Haley at home. That would be boring, right?
Right.
Would that wouldn't necessarily allow you to live your life to the full.
No.
No. And so like there's this acceptance that yeah, something could go wrong. Haley could say something or do something very embarrassing. Um, but if we allow that to keep us from doing things and keep us from being out in the world, then uh that's not a very hope filled life. Um, and so yeah, things are gonna happen. Haley's gonna say something at the quietest moment of any service or game or whatever. That's okay. Hadn't kept us from going to more.
No.
Yeah. So now you have a Haley win. You have a strategic planning process of where Haley sits at a funeral.
And when a casket's open now, when they do open it, we go straight out.
Yeah.
Or try to anyway.
Yeah.
Let me go watch a movie in a car or something.
Yeah. And it's really important to note that if we're not okay with Haley doing things like this from time to time in public, then Haley is not going to be able to be 100% okay with who she is. Um, if we're uncomfortable, she's uncomfortable. And that's not fair to her. And that's not what we would want anybody to feel like, right? We want everyone to feel like they can be themselves, and be part of the group. So when we shut down because of embarrassing moments, we don't allow Haley to be okay with who she is, and that's the most important part. Is there anything you would like to add to this? It's a pretty short chapter, and it's a pretty short story, but it's really what kicked off. It's really what kicked off Haley's stories.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Grandma, found your husband.
I can't think of anything else to say.
Okay, how do you feel about the show?
I really enjoyed the show today.
Good.
Like I usually enjoy every show.
Yeah, I think you feel pretty good about most. All right. Quick reminder, March 7th, Haley'sWeeklyNews.com. Will be live on your computer, tablet, iPad, iPhone, Android device. Haley, close out this windy Wednesday.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to Haley's Weekly News. Please love, like, and subscribe, and comment. And love. And we'll see y'all guys next week.